Hello and welcome to an amazing podcast. This is D, Modi, and Matt. What did you guys think of the episode?
Um, I thought this episode was just like such a wild ride. I feel like I'm not gonna know how I feel about the episode till we finish discussing it because there's just so much stuff that happened. My first impression that I would say is that it kind of felt all over the place.
Yes.
I'll start. I'll
It's
just
like
say
a
that.
setup episode though. Like I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to say what I feel about it when it's just setting up the next like couple episodes.
So this might seem a little... So I personally really enjoyed the episode. I got to see a lot of like stuff I liked and really wanted to see. But I feel like they should have dedicated a full-on episode to Megumi and blind bloodbending guys fight. And then at the end of the episode, jump into that because it felt like you said, there was just so much stuff going on. And going back to the subject of Naruto, I've heard a lot of people say that the Chunin exam arc was like one of the top tournament arcs. And I kind of want to argue that this is a really good one. But I will also point out that, again, you can tell the Naruto inspiration's super hard, and that's the kind of thing, Samoa, since you've also watched Naruto, one of the things I'm kind of, like, trying to decide upon is, like, whether I like the Chunin exam arc or this tournament arc better, because one thing I'm really, like, wondering about is this one is paced so much faster than the Chunin exam arc. So much faster. Even despite following the same kind of setup of, like, it ending when the main villains make a surprise attack. But on one end, it keeps things interesting and it keeps things moving. But on the other end, I have to, like, praise the Naruto Chunin exam arc for having a lot more stuff going on. Even though part of me kind of wants to say that it kind of dragged on a bit too. Like, they had, like, 2 separate tournament moments, and I feel like those could have been taken down a little bit. But what are your thoughts?
I think this quote unquote tournament arc for Jujutsu Kaisen is paced like too quickly. I think there's just not, I feel like there's not enough time to build up tension, especially in this episode. I feel like it just kind of moved really quickly. I also feel like if we're going to compare it to Naruto, I feel like this, you kind of alluded to this in this arc here, the structure kind of feels a bit more basic, like it's just been kind of like one-on-one fights and the curses invaded, which we all saw coming. I mean, I'm sure it surprised some people who, haven't seen this type of thing before, but like, I feel like I'm not mad about it either because I predicted it. So, one of my predictions came right. So I can't ever be mad about that.
Did you predict that?
One of us did.
Okay.
But I don't even claim that as a big prediction because
when they say they're going to do it, like they were watching over it. Like, did they say they were going to do it?
I predicted that before they said that. So like,
are you sure you
like when we first.
That was like in the first episode of this arc, though. They were like, the villains were there and like, oh, we're gonna do a thing.
I mean, you could have predicted it too, D. I mean, but I know I did. I said
on the record you predicted it, so that's all you need. Yeah.
I remember the episode when they first introduced that there was going to be like a fight, right?
Yeah.
Like a fight between the two schools. We had already known about those cursed like spirits, so I was like, oh, I know. Like I remember saying like, oh, they're gonna do this, but then the cursed spirits are gonna like come in during the tournament arc or whatever. But yeah. Anyway, I don't even know how I got onto that, but yeah. Oh yeah, I was just saying I feel like it's too fast paced, and I would, if we're gonna compare it to Naruto, I would still say Naruto's goated in terms of tournament arcs. But yeah,
I agree because I do like how they both shared the whole. So one thing that I never really liked about tournament arcs was they were too overly structured, where it was just like one fight after the next in a linear fashion. Whereas I like with this one, where it's more. I like this tournament arc, and I like the Forest of Death section of the Naruto tournament arc, where things were a lot more spontaneous. You didn't know who was going to approach who, and it was just a lot wilder. I think what this does well that the Naruto one doesn't is it doesn't feel like it meanders. Like, I feel like with the Naruto Chunin exam arc, they only needed like one round of tournament or like one location change, and it would have worked perfectly fine. Like, I didn't feel like the need for that sort of intermission. But that being said, I feel like there could have been a little bit more to this fight, this tournament arc, for it to feel a little more weighty. It feels like it goes by way too fast. And it was time well spent, but I don't know. I don't know what I would add to it. I just feel like it felt shotgunned.
Here's what I would do if I were, or at least like a suggestion I would make. And this could very well be worse, but I don't care. We got nothing about the actual tournament in this one. It started right off the bat. Let's kill Yuji. Sorry, I meant Mr. Kaisen. And like I kind of preferred like they started doing the tournament, but they had this goal of killing him anyways, and they tried to do it like not right off the bat. And then the whole twist would have been, oh, they're trying to actually kill him. Mm. But then we got like the betrayal. Then we got like a bunch of fights, and then now like we're introducing the villains. And I guess like, oh, it's moving the story along. Mm. But I don't know. I just like I would have preferred them to take their time.
I completely agree with that. What I think would have been a really great setup would have been like, instead of them just saying like, we're going to kill Yuji, it should have been something like, we're going to have the tournament, keep an eye on Yuji, and if you think he's a threat, take him down. Like, it would have been something like really cool where they're doing the tournament as usual, like they're each focusing on hunting their own like cursed spirits, and then somewhere along the line, either Sukuna takes over for a second, or Yuji does something very spectacular, and they realize this is a threat. We need to take him down, and then we go into like the arc we've had thus far, and then near the end of it, we then go into the whole curses attack. That way, you have a solid 3-act structure to the whole.
I say exclude the villains. I say exclude the villains in this arc. We just got them last arc. I don't know.
So I almost agree with exclude the villains. So I think that the way, like my ideal way that this arc could have played out is if the component of killing Yuji and the component of actually playing the game and, you know, playing the objective were like combined and intertwined in some way. I think that would be much more interesting to see like the strategic moves that each school would be playing to like, you know, because like Tokyo's goal is to protect Yuji and get the cursed spirit. Kyoto's goal is to protect Yuji and get the cursed spirit. If that could have been like, kill Yuji and get the cursed spirit. So if that could have all been connected somehow into like one plot line that built up to something, as opposed to them kind of just splitting up and fighting, that would have been interesting. That's like, you know, something you would probably see in like Hunter x Hunter or something like that.
It should have been. This might as well not have been like a tournament arc. They could have just like started out with him on the field. Like there's no justification for them to do the whole game in the first place, because we only see like Panda get rid of one and that's it. Like that's the most we get from it.
To me, it's like self-justifying, because to me that's like what I like the most about these type of series, like the games they play, you know. So I would have wanted to see that in itself would have been entertaining for me, and I wouldn't even need like the cursed spirits to invade and like, you know, get into this whole thing if that happened. But that's not to say that I don't think they should. I think it's interesting, and it would have been more interesting if it went that way, in my opinion.
So one thing I did just realize that would make the whole like cursed spirit attack way better. Instead of Mahito, make it Jogo, the volcano guy, because that way, it gives us a break from Hito, since we literally just had him as like the big bad of the last arc. B, it puts Jogo back in the spotlight, and C, it's a really good measuring rod for how much the characters have grown, because we've already known that Jogo is a ridiculously strong opponent, and then having like Yuji take him on single-handedly in like Gojo's place might have been really effective. Especially since they're making this also a sort of a training arc as well.
Well, that's the thing, D, is that they should use this arc to just grow the other characters. Because we still know very little about them. Like, I think we know more about the sister school than we do about the ones in this school.
Dude, we found out that Panda wasn't a panda.
It wasn't a panda, yeah. No, but like they just should have just spent this time to build up the characters more, so that like we could lead to this like battle of them. But right now, like I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I guess I hope they don't die, but you know, I don't really know Salmon Boy too much.
You know what the weird part is? I just realized the Kyoto school has better male characters, and the Tokyo school has better female characters.
I disagree. Wait,
really?
Kyoto school. I'm getting my schools mixed up.
The Tokyo school is
the main Mr. Kaisen school. Wait, can you say that statement again then, D?
I was saying like the Kyoto school had better male characters, and the Tokyo school has better female characters.
Well, like I said, I like Mai better than Maki. And I don't know. I don't know anything about the blue-haired girl, so I don't know.
I disagree. I think the only likable male character at Kyoto is Todo. And I like all the characters at Tokyo, so yeah, I don't know.
Well, either way, it's just like I still feel like we don't know enough about the Tokyo school to I don't know. I think this could have waited for later.
It's weird how we got like these new characters got so much, like we had their backstories expounded upon so much more than the main character cast in this arc.
This is reminding me so much of My Hero. Like this happens twice in My Hero. That's probably why I'm like not really shocked. You're like, oh, we're gonna do an arc, a tournament arc. Oh, the bad guys invade. Which is fine, I guess. Just like I don't know. I kind of would prefer them to do what you said, Modi.
But My Hero Academia tournament arc just fizzled out so hard. There was no real climax to it. It just like
really. I thought theirs was great.
No, I'm talking about the one where I'm not even saying the arcs are bad. I'm just saying that My Hero did it.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like My Hero didn't have like the biggest fight was like the Deku versus Todoroki fight, and that was like that was at like the 75% point, and then it just ended with like a whimper. Like
you mean Bakugo versus Todoroki, or
like take Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, and even like this. All
their tournament like that,
arcs
though.
Ended out with like a huge bang, and that's so much more satisfying, in my opinion.
I don't know. We don't have to. We probably shouldn't talk about My Hero too much, but I mean, otherwise it's like okay, you know.
What did you guys think about Noritoshi's powers? And
Loved
Noritoshi
him.
is the guy with the eyes closed.
Oh, I thought he was pretty. I was starting to like him, but then the thing happened before I could like him, so I don't know.
Wait, what thing?
The monsters are invading. Maybe I'll like him more after it, but it's just like right now I'm like, I'm starting to get interested in this character, but then they just kind of interrupt that, which they'll probably go into him more. But
it's kind of the opposite for me. I didn't think much of him before. I didn't even really like him, I would say.
Yeah.
But then after this episode, like even just that small amount that we learned about him, I actually like him.
That's what I'm saying. Like this episode made me start to like him because I knew nothing about him before. But it didn't really get to the point where like I still don't know enough about him to where I can make a judgment. Whereas like I feel like Mai and Mekamaru, I think I can say that I like them. But
I feel like if it had continued with the fight between him and Megumi, you probably wouldn't have learned any more that would make you like him, because at that point it would just be the fight and the action, I'm guessing.
No, I'm fine with it. Like I'm fine with what they did. Like I'm not like complaining. I'm just saying I think they could have done some stuff better. But I was also fine with them like choosing to like okay, we're just gonna have them team up against the thing. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
So in terms of that, so I have a lot of thoughts about him. So first of all, I think he probably has one of my all-time favorite powers of the series, just because I love the color red, and I think bloodbending is like such a badass power. And the way he like uses it in so many different ways, like he uses it to like augment his arrows. He dopes himself up to give him super strength and speed, and then he's like bending into like knives and different weapons. Like, and like, I'm sorry, I love the like closed eye characters, because there's always that moment where they open their eyes and it gets all like, oh shit, he's fighting with his eyes open now.
That's why Brock leaves his eyes closed.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when he opens them, he's got like red eyes underneath.
Yeah, like that's
when he opens his eyes, he can see through girls' clothes.
I'll use his frying pan as a dyeing pan. And he starts like whacking Team Rocket on the head with it.
Yeah, and like I love the whole like really nice like blood splatter effect around his eye. So like I was going into this, I think he was like my least favorite of the Kyoto school, but right now I think he has my favorite power of all of them. Like, if I had to rank them, I would probably say Toto, Bloodbender guy, Miwa, Mekamaru, and then the other two.
What's Toto's power again?
Well, in terms of just overall character.
Oh, okay.
Well, you see, this is why I just find. I'm not saying that the characters are better. I'm just saying I find the Sister School characters like more interesting. I want to learn more about them.
Totally.
It's like I don't know. Like I'm still very unsure about the main. I like the main cast and I like Panda, but the rest I'm just kind of unsure about.
See, that's the funny thing. Like, part of me kind of wants them to go full marketing mode on this, because like literally from this episode, from this one arc, we've gotten 2 whole possible spin-offs.
Yeah. Wait, my favorite moment of the episode was when the old guy.
Okay, no. Like, for the longest,
what was that?
You don't remember that?
No. I know what you're talking about. That was crazy.
No,
like he just pulled out an electric guitar.
And he's like got like this whole outfit.
Dude, when I first saw him, like up into this, like I think that one scene of him just whipping out the electric guitar was a total glow up moment for me. Because for the longest, I was just referring to him as, like, not Netero or Notaro. But now it's just like, okay, this guy, like, I'll give this guy a shot. Oh my
god, yeah.
Fun fact, although I will say this kind of makes me sad because I'm trying to do, like, a pilot. And that also involves, like, a bloodbending character and a character who fights with an electric guitar. And now, like, this show has like used both of them. I feel very salty.
Using blood as an attack isn't like a necessarily original thing. I think every show has a character that does that at some point.
True.
Not dissing on Jujutsu Kaisen, and just like I wouldn't be worried about that.
Although I will say the unique thing that I've seen with the way Noritoshi uses his powers is the fact that he can imbue weapons with his blood and control them with that.
Yeah,
I've never seen something like that. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you wouldn't even guess that he was a bloodbender until...
But then that kind of makes you wonder, why would he choose arrows? Like, if you can imbue any weapon with your blood, like, why not choose, like...
bullets?
Bombs
also bullets, choose a gun, yeah. Rocket
bullets
launcher.
Are actually way better. Yeah, exactly. Oh, speaking of which... Okay, this is not even that related, but it just reminded me of the part when, like, Miwa was just standing there in the forest, and she's like, yeah, I got my sword stolen, I'm kind of useless. And it's just like... That was just so hilarious. Like, I love Miwa. Like, she's just, like, so chill about it. Like, she's just like, yeah, okay, it is what it is, you know? But the thing, I even had this question last week, but I didn't really get a chance to ask it. If Maki clearly prefers a sword, right? Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't she just use a sword to begin with? You know, like, why would she use a baton if she clearly... wants to use a sword, you know?
Because why would we because we need to have Miwa.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You need to have her. So
I mean, maybe
the workaround is for her to just steal it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like how she just straight up jacked Miwa's sword, and that's that. Like, there's just no.
See, like that could have been a really cool moment for her, where she just like grabs her like sheath and starts using that as like a makeshift sword. But I'm kind of mad they I'm kind of mad they just decided to like cut her off at that point.
And that led into the most hype moment of the episode for me. Like, when this happened, like, I got up in my seat, I was yelling like, oh! When she gets the call and she's like, yeah, it's Miwa, and then Inumaki's like, sleep, and then she just drops to sleep. I was like, yeah, Inumaki. Okay, listen, I can't like, I think it's undeniable that Inumaki has the coolest power. Like, he can just tell people what to do and they just do it. Like, that's just so cool, you know?
Just like, unlike me, who even if I tell people to do it, they don't do it. I have the exact opposite power.
Yeah, you have the opposite power, yeah.
See, I'm really like, okay, this is a slight disappointment. This is partially a joke disappointment and a serious disappointment. I really want Inumaki and that one, like, Earth curse spirit to have, like, this really over-dramatic, super serious, super, like, theatrical, like, verbal soliloquy back and forth. But they're, like, both talking in their own, like, undecipherable language. So, like, you just have, like,
they have, like, a haiku.
Mayo, sukuna, mayo, sushi, rice. And it's, like...
Do you think
like,
there's going to be an issue
those,
with
like,
that? Like, where Unumaki's power doesn't work on the demon because they, like, speak differently or something?
That could be interesting.
Yeah,
that would be like that.
not.
That would make it a very interesting matchup to see how they work around that. Although, I mean, it's not like he's going to be fighting him one-on-one. Like, they're probably all going to try to fight him let's talk about that. How do you guys think this is going to go? Like, do you think they're going to end up needing help? Like, okay, are they going to escape? Are they going to defeat Hanami? Or are they going to lose and get help from someone in order to win?
Okay, so real quick about Hanami. I really like Hanami's design. I like their power. But I am not feeling the voice all that much. And, like, I've always had this issue where if the character's voice doesn't really, like, match their character, it throws me off a lot. And I think that's happening to me right now. I kind of would have preferred it since, like, they're supposed to be, like, the manifestation of the Earth. They had, like, multiple different voices. So, like, since he's supposed to be, like, this silent, like, almost eerie-looking character... It would have been nice if you had his, like, voice, like, fluctuating or, like, waving from, like, a male voice and a female voice and, like, back and forth. I feel like a female voice doesn't match their design that much.
I feel like most iterations of, like, an Earth-like thing, or at least throughout history, have been shown to be female. Because, like, usually it's depicted as, like... I mean, this probably has nothing to do with... why they decided to
they're going with the Mother Earth look.
yeah
But like, I just assumed they did it because it was, like, funny. Like, there's a character in One Piece who is kind of similar in a way. Like, he's like this huge character who his power is that he can basically merge with any stone. So, like, there's this scene where he literally merges with a castle, right? And everyone's looking at him and they're just, like, so scared because he's so strong and powerful, right? And then he speaks and his voice is like the squeakiest voice ever. And then everyone just bursts out laughing, like...
I don't think that's what they're doing here, though. I think it's just...
I don't know. I feel like there could be a comedic element to it as well. I definitely got a comedic element to it.
Although one thing, and this isn't saying, like, really big characters can't have, like, female-sounding voices. Like, look at, like, something like Samus from Metroid. But if I was, like, reading the manga and I saw this character... I would not connect that voice to it. Like, if I was, like, looking at, like, I could see a female voice coming out of, like, Samus's, like, bulky frame, but I could not like, get that.
It kind of reminds me of Rem from Death Note.
Who? Oh!
The other Shinigami that,
like, with,
Samisa or something.
Yep.
Yeah, they also chose a female voice for that character, and they kind of sound similar. So I still think it kind of works because
I think that Shinigami had more female, like, elements to her, though.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
was fine with it. I think it was, like, spectacular. I was okay with it, you know.
But yeah.
But okay, so what do you guys think is going to happen? Like, do you think they're going to escape, or they're going to get help, or they're going to beat Hanami?
So what I think is going to go on right now is there are two routes. My main theory is it's going to be the kind of situation where they get close to beating it and then some plot happens and they get forced back. And then you're going to have, like, Toto and Yuji come in and, like, finish up the fight a la the opening. But what I think the way this fight's gonna go is, since they established that Hanami has like super durable skin, is like bullet and sword proof, it's gonna revolve around them. Like it's gonna evolve around like Megumi and like not Brock, creating an opening for Inumaki to come in and like use sound to take him down.
I thought it was
one of the things.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought it was.
Okay.
I don't know if it was intended to be funny, but I thought it was pretty funny how the three of them were just like standing there like talking for a while, and I'm just thinking in my head, there's a freaking demon right in front of you guys, and you guys are just like casually talking. And then as I said that, like it came down and like started attacking them. So I don't know if that was intended to be comedic, but I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah. Also, I really appreciate how they're going with the whole humans are destroying the planet, la, 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 la. But I do appreciate that they actually like pointing out that like, yeah, there are some humans who care about the Earth, but at the end of the day, those efforts aren't worth crap.
Yeah, you see, that's the other part of it. The other reason why, like, I just guess such a comedic element from Hanami is that Hanami is like just like it's a cursed spirit that's an environmentalist, you know. And also, if cursed spirits are supposed to be the manifestations of people's fears, I don't get what Hanami is.
Fear of nature,
you know.
Fear of the woods.
Oh, okay. I guess
maybe.
that seems like, if that's what it is, that seems like weak to me. Not to say I'm glad this character exists though, because I like the character. But yeah, if it's just like fear of nature, it's like, do people really fear nature necessarily? Like if I was going to do something fear of nature, I would get more specific and be like, you know, like fear of volcanoes or fear of tsunamis or fear of earthquakes, you know. But yeah.
Maybe it's
Hanami school.
Climate change. I don't know.
Fear of climate change, yeah.
And then they just like manifest into this like very violent anti-human. I don't know. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I didn't really think too much about that, but I guess it's interesting.
I actually, so I want to clarify something. This is going back to Megumi a little. So Megumi must be related to Maki and Mai, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are they? I guess it's not really explained, but I guess just because they're in the same clan doesn't mean they're probably like super related. They might just be like, because probably like, you know, we've seen Maki and Megumi interact and they didn't really act like they were like close in any way, you know. So yeah, I don't know if they even like grew up in the same area or something like that, but I just thought that was interesting.
Wasn't Megumi no longer in the clan though? Wasn't he like kicked out or something?
Bet he's the sole survivor of a clan that got wiped out. He's the Sasuke.
Yeah.
No, I mean he's definitely part. That can't be true because he's, unless you were joking.
No,
he's definitely part of the Zenin. Oh, well, he's part of the Zenin clan. So
okay.
And we know that's not the case with because that's Maki and Mai's clan. So we know that's not the case.
I don't get
but that brings
Naruto references you guys are making.
Sorry,
get cultured,
but that brings.
sir.
Yeah, you do need to get cultured. Actually, though. There's no excuse. Right. That brings another question though, which is like, what the hell is up with the Zenin clan? Like, literally everyone that comes out of there wants to leave. Like, even Megumi left. You know, like, they need to, like, figure out their issues because this...
They need an
like,
HR department.
That's what they need the most. They need HR up in that clan because, like, they seemingly care so much about staying powerful and keeping the clan up, but, like, none of your people want to stay, so you're doing something wrong.
It's just like two daughters, you know.
No, yeah, that's why I love, like, you have all these clans who like meet tragic ends. Like Kurapika from Hunter x Hunter got wiped out. Sasuke from Naruto, his clan got wiped out. Like this clan, people just yeeted out. Like even their own clan is trying to wipe themselves out.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna find out that like Mekamaru and Panda are also part of the clan.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious.
Just like everybody.
I actually, you know, I wouldn't be totally surprised if Mekamaru was part of one of those clans. That wouldn't shock me actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that because it's interesting how like they're all connected, and it's also interesting how this world is small, There's only 3 clans that, there's not that many people. There's only 2 schools with like, a couple dozen students fighting these curses, and there's only like 3 clans. It's like such a small world, and it's kind of new to me because usually, I'm used to like, really big worlds, but
right.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like the curses are to have curse power is incredibly rare. So it makes sense that there's only like only some schools, and then like I guess like aren't the clans also kind of based on like curse based people?
Probably, yeah.
So that's probably also why they're rare.
Next, I wanted to talk also about the fact that I love this. The fact that the cursed spirits, they literally went out of their way to keep Gojo out. Like imagine being that scared of Gojo. Like imagine being Gojo. How would you feel? Like I would kind of feel like flattered, but also like, damn, I want to fight. Like.
What about the other 2 like people that are with that? Like, are they not like just nowhere near Gojo's level? Like
apparently.
No, if Gojo, even it seems like even Geto is scared. Like everyone's scared of Gojo, right? Yeah. Like he destroyed Jogo. And no one wants to fight him, so it makes sense. But I just think it's so hilarious that it kind of makes me lose respect for them, in a way. No, because like it's very reasonable. It's the smart thing to do. Like for example, if they hadn't done that and they had just like barged in without a plan like that to contain Gojo, I would have been like, wow, these guys are dumb. Like you need to target Gojo, or like you at least need to make sure Gojo's out of the picture. But like the fact that they actually did, I'm just like, wow, y'all are cowards. Like I can't believe.
You know what the short selling part about that is?
What?
They can't like whether like. They're gonna have to eventually like lower that barrier. Like, are they just gonna decide like say if they win, they still have to deal with Gojo? So are they just like, oh shit, he's literally waiting outside this door, and he would be pissed that we just wiped out his entire class.
Why would they attack now? This is the worst time to attack. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is like the worst time to attack them. Because you have like double the amount of sorcerers than like if you just like straight up attacked the school.
What's their goal again? I actually forgot.
I don't even. I think are they just trying to kill him or something?
They're trying to like get Sukuna onto their side. So I'm assuming the end game of this is just them to like either steal the remaining fingers or like make a deal with Sukuna to give him the fingers in exchange for helping them.
I know this is like the worst time to do it. You have
you know what? Yeah, that's totally right, Matt. Like now that I think about it, how I feel about this arc is gonna ride on their goal in invading now, because they have to have a good reason to invade when literally everyone is there. Like literally all of the manpower is in one place and they're all in fight mode,
including the masters. Like they only Gojo. They only took out Gojo, but like what about all the other 4 people that are
and to what you said, D, like Gojo, you kept Gojo out, but like now he has like however long to just sit there and just scheme and do whatever he wants while waiting for you guys to come out, unless they have a good escape plan. I'm probably like making a lot of assumptions, and it's probably gonna amount to nothing by the time the arc ends. I'm sure I'm sure it's more planned out than this, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about how funny that was, that like like they're just so scared of him, like their whole plan revolves around just keeping Gojo out. It also makes me love Gojo even more, if that's even possible.
I'm just saying they would have just been better off just like invading the school while Gojo's away.
Yeah, that's true.
They just would have been better off, because like now you just have the entire sister school plus the headmaster of the sister school plus the like principal of like whatever the
they're
old dude
literally
is.
Attacking every single one of their like mortal enemies all in one singular place.
Yeah.
They are at, like you said, the max fighting potential they could ever have.
Yeah.
This one moment.
Mind you with like 3 people.
Yeah.
Unless their goal... So, what if their goal is something like, we want to take out the young ones, right? All at once in one place? Then I think this is a pretty good plan. Especially if they have an airtight escape plan. I think this is a great plan. But if their goal is to like get Yuji or something, right? Or like try to talk to Sukuna, I think then it's shaky because it's like there's a lot better ways you can do that. But if their goal is to like strike once and get all of the upcoming sorcerers at one time, and I think that's a pretty good idea too, like considering what their goals are, then I think
maybe, but you need to remember that like Yuji himself being a beginning sorcerer, him plus whatever the hell the other guy's name was, the glasses guy, still like beat, like almost killed what's his face?
Mahito,
yeah. But like now again, I'm unless for some reason just like the other adults are just super weak.
I mean, so yes, technically, yes, they almost, if you just look at it on paper, yes, they almost beat Mahito. But if you look at the way they almost beat him, it was lost. Mahito had won, except for the fact that like Sukuna touched his his inner domain or whatever, and that was it, right? So I'm like, if I'm Mahito, I'm thinking, okay, I just have to be careful about the whole Sukuna situation, right? And otherwise, I'm still much stronger, which I believe, So
they should have brought everybody then,
Blessed.
Yeah, that's true.
I wish they gave I wish it was Jogo instead of Mahito. Because imagine that, like, we have that fight. Mahito slinks away. We haven't seen him. And we don't see him for a couple of arcs, and then boom, he reappears. We know how strong he was back in like last year, or like the last 3 arcs ago. Now he's more trained. He's more dangerous, and it's like the big rematch between him and Yuji. Now it's just like, oh yeah, we just saw you. Okay, cool. All right.
That's true. When it comes to like my meathead side that likes to power scale stuff, I would have wanted it to be like, Yuji and Mahito spend time away from each other, and then like the next time they meet, we know that they've had time to get stronger, so now we get to see like what's changed, right? But like this is literally right after they fought, so or is it? Has it been a long time since they fought? Like, did they, was there like a small time skip or something?
I don't know, but for us, the audience, it's
for the audience,
which is significant. I feel
that's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Plus, I like Jogo. I want to see more of Jogo.
Oh yeah. Like,
what's the
you all saw that end credit scene. That was amazing.
Yeah. Another question I had: what's the deal with the building guy? Can one of you guys explain?
I was about to mention
because
him.
I don't understand. I don't understand what he's about, like what his power is.
He likes making people the code racks.
Also, is he?
Going?
Is he a? I mean, I'm sure. I guess he's not a cursed spirit. He's probably a sorcerer.
No, he's a sorcerer. Right? They said he was a sorcerer.
Okay, so yeah, this is weird. I mean, I guess we'll learn more about him, but like, I think the way he was introduced was just very confusing. It was too abrupt. I think it was like, I don't know. I'm really confused about him.
Okay, you know what my biggest issue with that character was? They established really early that he was obsessed with like skinning people and whatnot. Why didn't they have him like wear a coat or something made of like human skin, or like have like this crazy witch doctor attire? But they just like,
who knows? Maybe he is wearing a coat of human skin.
I don't know, because it feels like you could give him this really big design that sort of like reflects who he is. But the fact that he looks more like a blacksmith than like a...
I was thinking just that.
Guy.
I was thinking he's like the blacksmith character.
He is, right? That's how I see him.
Well, I guess he's a blacksmith of making people into coat... why a coat rack, though?
Yeah, it's confusing. It's so confusing.
Why a coat rack, though? Why couldn't he just been like, I want to collect your bones or something? What? Just the coat rack, to me...
Matt, what do you like less? Inumaki's like sushi talk or his coat rack talk?
I already don't like Inumaki's sushi talk. I don't like it, but I don't like the coat rack either. But I think Inumashi at least like, I don't know. I probably hate the coat. Here's the thing. I think I got enough. I think my silliness meter maxed at Toto, where his like entire motivation is so like servant. Like I don't know, just like what's your preference in women? And then the fact that we just get this like other character that's like, I want to make you into a coat rack, like over and over again. I think like Toto was already the best, and then you trying to go further, and it's like I don't stop.
Matt. Yeah. I mean this in the most like civil way possible. Shut the effing hell up! Like, have you not been a part? Have you not ever had a intelligent, stimulating conversation about coat racks? Coat racks are freaking awesome. They are
if you use
incredible.
Coat racks as a weapon,
I agree.
And he was like covered in coat racks or something. I think that'd be kind of funny. I think it'd be a funny character. But like, I don't know. It's just like,
if
how am I supposed to take this character? How am I supposed to take him?
Like, dude. Like, how, like, what do you keep your coats on when you come in? Do you just, like, take your wet coat and, like, throw it over
He's not
bed?
even wearing a coat. He's not even wearing a coat.
Because he's hung it on his coat rack. See?
Oh, you're right.
If he had no coat rack, he would have been, like, running into that fight with, like, 50 layers on. He would have been all sweaty. He would have been all lethargic. And this thing would have been so much easier for the main characters. But
also,
since he had a proper coat rack...
Like, if we saw him before, maybe. Like, I think it'd be funny if we saw him in a previous scene where, like, he's, like, with the villains. He's like, do me, like, hang up your coat or something? And then he gets, like, pissed off that they don't have a coat rack. He's like, well, I'd love to hang your coat if we had a fucking coat rack.
See, okay, you know what? That's the other thing. Like, like, the more we talk, Matt's making me like this character less and less. Because they have him set up as just, like, the generic, like, butcher serial killer guy. But if he was just, like, if his entire shtick was he was just obsessed with coat racks to the point that he wanted to make humans out of them, like, make them out of humans, I would have had so much more respect for this guy. Like, he's literally using a coat rack as a weapon. His entire, like, raison d'etre is coat racks.
I feel like we get that character too much in anime. That's like, we brought in the really buff butcher type for this one battle scene.
Then again, I also feel like it's a little too early to like this, like
that's true.
Surmise what his whole character is just yet. I just had a problem with the way he was introduced.
Yeah,
I don't have any idea about what he's about really. Like, I don't
care either though. Like, I agree with you.
I care. He's about to fight.
No, I agree with you that, like, I think the introduction was so weak that I'm not, like, left wondering, like, what's this guy about? Whereas with the old guy, it's like he rips out a fucking, like, guitar. I'm hyped for him. Like,
this is something else that I had on my mind, which is that, like, I'm actually not happy that it's funny and all, but I don't like this because I really want to not like this old man.
I know.
And now that when he pulled out that electric guitar, like, it makes it so hard not to like him, you know?
Like, this guy might enter my top 10 favorite characters.
Exactly. And I don't want that. So, yeah.
Damn it, creator of Jujutsu Kaisen, stop making us like all your characters.
He literally does, too. That's the thing, like, all of the characters are so likable, so yeah.
Well, real quick, shout out to all of the awesome people commenting on our stuff. We really appreciate you guys. And also, Matt, it is not Mr. Kaisen. It is Kaisen-san, you degenerate.
Yeah, my bad, Kaisen-san.
Kaisen-sama.
Kaisen-sama.
Okay, so let's do you guys have anything to say about the post-credit scene? Like,
yes.
I'm glad that you guys do, because I'm actually speechless. I literally can't even think of what to say about it. So you guys can take it away.
Honey and Jogo, best ship. I'm shipping those two together so hard.
That was my favorite part of the episode. I can't believe I almost forgot to bring this up. That was my favorite part of this episode. I just want a full-on episode of that.
I want a spin-off of this.
I want a spin-off. Yeah.
I want to know who Mahito's boyfriend is. Like, that is, like, that's on my mind so hard right now.
He's like an anime girl, too. It's like
Cursed Spirit High School.
Like, I also love how, like, they made Mahito the mean girl, too.
Yeah. Like,
Jesus Christ. Like, now I just have, like, this whole image of, like, Junpei taking, like, Mahito to the prom now. I can't get that out of my head.
And and then Mahito like kills him at prom. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I was literally expecting like Mahito's boyfriend, like after that whole like super lovey, awesome, sweet ending between Jogo and Hanami, that Mahito's boyfriend just like bursts from the bushes and starts strangling him.
It definitely reminds me of the whole the cursed spirit one where like these like little cute things that are like messing with the, what were they, like it was like a box or something.
Yeah, it was like the little pirate stabby game.
Yeah, I freaking love these post credit scenes.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, it's just gonna make me feel bad though when they have to like when they have the actual fights and stuff.
I just felt I was just in shock the whole time.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't think. I was like, wow, what's going on? Like, Japan really took it to the next level with their randomness this time.
Like the
Slice
fact
of
that
life
Mahito
anime
was like in a schoolgirl uniform was just like that's something on DeviantArt. Like that's a new fan. Like that, like fan art.
Imagine
get on that.
I
imagine the fan art that's gonna spawn. Yeah.
Does the manga have this, or is this just like a show thing?
I doubt
it. Do you think like the voice actors are just like messing around afterwards?
If they have it, it's probably only in the manga volumes, but I doubt they do. This seems like an anime only type thing.
Well, I appreciate it because sometimes it like helps flesh out characters, but also sometimes it's just like funny.
Yeah, I mean, I don't take any of it. I don't take any of it as canon. So like,
like the stuff with the like, oh, what is everybody else's preferences in women, or like here's like a situation where
I don't take that as canon.
Well, I think it just helps like reveal parts about the personality. Like I guess, like
yeah, I guess.
Them, which I kind of want a little bit more sometimes. I don't know. I feel like these shows are a bit like don't.
Yeah, like
take
I
their
mean,
time
like
sometimes.
we were saying. Yeah, like we were saying earlier, it's especially this arc. It's been a little bit fast paced.
It's like too rushed. It's like they're trying to do all these different kind of arcs all in one arc. It's like take your time. I would have been fine if it was just like a tournament arc. Where it was just like, oh, let's do a tournament while trying to protect Kaisen-san.
To be fair though, like hell of a lot better pacing than God of High School. God, I need to get off that horse.
I don't even know what that is.
You're still so God of High School is an anime that we reviewed last summer, and we probably spent like 3 months reviewing it. So I'm guessing I can understand he's very salty because damn, that was the worst pacing in a show that was the worst pacing in a show that I've ever stuck through, because usually I would leave, but we were reviewing it, so yeah. But yeah, so that's understandable. All right, so what would you guys rate the episode?
I would rate it an 8. I think there was a lot of really cool stuff happening, but see, I appreciate fast-paced episodes that don't lose you. And I think my biggest issue is not that it's fast-paced, it's more like there was stuff that I kind of wish got more time dedicated to it. Like, it didn't feel rushed to me, but it felt like, I would like to see this fight go on a little bit longer, or I would like to have a little bit more build-up to this whole, curse attack.
Completely agree. And Matt?
It's weird. My rating for this episode might raise depending on the next few episodes. So for right now, I'm just going to put it at a safe 6.5.
Okay.
I would. Dang, you and your taste.
We're only 1.5 away from an 8. It'll happen one day. I know it'll happen.
Yeah.
I would probably give the episode I don't want to I really like the beginning fight scene and the Inumaki part. So if the episode was just those parts, I would give the episode an 8, But because we didn't spend enough time on any of those parts, especially the animation was good too, but because we didn't spend enough time on them, I'm gonna give it a 7. Yeah, I pretty much completely agree with your analysis of it, D. That less stuff should have happened, and we should have spent more time on those things.
Mm-hmm. I also kind of feel before I was really praising the writing for Jujutsu Kaisen hard. I feel like it's weird because I feel like they're doing less stuff with the the writing in this has transitioned from a plot focused kind of the arcs leading up to this, the writing was really put a lot of focus on like well crafted plot. I feel like this arc is much lighter on plot, but I feel like all that writing time definitely went to character. Although I am a little disappointed that it went into like the antagonist character and less of the protagonist character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I would agree with that. This arc feels more formulaic, but I that's a good point. I didn't think about that. The writing time went to the characters, and I think those backstories are all very solid. So I mean, in some way, it's kind of worth it, I would say.
I still think that the first few arcs of the show have been my favorite ones. Like where they like first introduce the plot, and then they start meeting some of the main cast. Yeah. But I feel like this one, and more so last one, I wasn't like a huge fan of. But this one has just kind of been like okay so far. I like a lot of the characters, but like the story itself, I feel like it's kind of like the writing seems a little bit weaker. Yeah. It could be bleeding up to something really good. I don't know. I probably can't say until after. Yeah.
Like the writing time was mostly just dedicated to like fleshing out these new characters, and that's probably mostly it.
Yeah, I'm just scared that these new characters are just not gonna pop up again. True. And like we're just like yeah, I like the character writing, but I guess it's unfair for me to assume that. But like there's kind of that fear where it's just like it's cool, but we're not gonna see them again.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's been our review of episode 18 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Wow, we are 2/3 of the way through the show now. Like we probably only have episodes. Wait, what?
Yeah, it's like 24 episodes, right?
Oh, it's 24. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we're literally 2/3 of the way through the show. So yeah, it's almost coming to an end. It feels like it's gone by so quickly. But yeah, so that's been our review, and thank you for watching, and come back next week for episode 19. Bye.